welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. We will go ahead and get started. Does that sound good to everyone, all the panelists? Are we ready? Okay, great. So I'll do a first introduction to myself. My name is Tracy Zheng. I'm the parent of a current sixth grader at Ralston. And today we have 10 awesome students here wants to share their sixth grade experience, and you will hear their stories and know how is everything going here at Ralston. And along with them, we have the administrative team from Ralston, leading by Ms. Adler, the principal at Ralston. And we have Mr. Wilson, and also have Ms. Jorgensen joining us. And from there, so before I have them introduce themselves, I just want to quickly go over today's agenda so that you know what to expect. We'll first start with the introduction, start with the staff members, and following that, students will give a really quick introduction of themselves. After that, we will have the panel discussion. So for the panel discussion, we try to cover the popular questions that asked in the past. So I know a lot of you guys came with questions. I request you hold off on your questions and listen to the discussion first. Maybe they address most of your questions already. And let's say by 7:40, if your questions still haven't been addressed, there's a Q&A function on the bottom. There's a question mark there, and you can use that one to drop your questions. And the students and staff members will try their best to answer all the questions. With that, I'm going to kick it off and start with the introduction from the staff members. Ms. Adler, over to you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sabrina Adler. I'm the principal here at Ralston. This is my 4th year in the district and 4th year as principal. I have a 7th grader at Ralston and a 4th grader at Central as well.
Thank you. Ms. Jorgensen?
I'm Kelly Jorgensen. I'm one of the assistant principals at Ralston. This is also my 4th year at Ralston. Before becoming an administrator, I taught science for many, many years. I love my time at Ralston, and thank you for coming.
Mr. Wilson?
Hi, I'm Patrick Wilson. This is also my 4th year at Ralston. And prior to that, I was teaching social studies and English up in Burlingame for a number of years. I'm really excited for tonight. You're going to see tonight really why our school is so great, because these students are amazing.
Ready, thank you. And the next introduction, we will have the students to introduce themselves. We'll keep it short, their name, their school, and one highlight from their from middle school, the first year at middle school. So we'll start with Connor.
Hello, I'm Connor Seeker. I used to go to Sandpiper and now I go to Ralston. I am currently a 6th grader, and I liked all the events and like the spirit weeks and the dances at Ralston. On to you, Alan.
Thanks, Connor. Hi, my name is Alan Stern. I used to go to Fox before now I'm at Ralston. A highlight of my time at Ralston was all the dances and all like the web events. How about you, Jaden?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Jaden. I went to Central Elementary School. One of the highlights of middle school life was the field trips. The field trips are more hands-on and you get to do a lot of fun research. For example, we tested the water quality of Water Dog Lake. Just remember that the field trips are graded. On to you, Max.
Hi, I'm Max, and I came from Redwood Shores Elementary School. One thing I really liked was science at Ralston because there are a lot more like labs and like hands-on experiments than in elementary school. Arav, why don't you go next?
Hello, I'm Arav. I went to Redwood Shores before I went to Ralston, and one highlight from this year has also probably been the science class, and I also really liked the canoeing field trip that we went on. And now I'm going to give it over to Leia.
Thank you, Arav. My name is Leia, and I went to Cipriani Elementary School, and my highlight My highlight from Ralston is playing at the winter concert. It was really fun. To echo.
My name is Echo, and I used to go to Cipriani Elementary School. And a highlight from this year was all the field trips, like the Rosicrucian Museum. Go, Stella.
Thanks. My name is Stella. I went to Central Elementary, and a highlight from this year was probably the field trips and like web events. On to you, Andrea.
Hi, my name's Andrea, and before I went to Ralston, I went to Redwood Shores, and one of the things I really liked at Ralston was the dance. On to you, Lottie.
Hi, my name is Lottie, and I used to go to Nesbitt. Now I'm a sixth grader at Ralston, and one of my favorite memories is the sixth grade events.
Well, I think I will introduce themselves. Can I have you mute yourself, source? So next one, we will start to have the panel discussion. And the first prepared topic we have is transportation. That's a very hot topic. Moving from elementary school to middle school, a lot of kids are, their family are not that close to elementary school anymore. So let's hear from the middle schoolers how they commute to school. So Jaden, I have you first. I know you do both bus and your parents do the drop off and pick up. Can you share your experience and let us know which one do you prefer? And Jaden, you need to mute yourself.
Yes. So, I do both. On most days, my mom drops me off in the morning, and I take the bus to school once a week. If my mom drops me off, I can sleep a little bit longer. Consequently, though, my mom has to endure more traffic when she goes to work. Taking the bus, I have to leave home 30 minutes early. I think in the morning they're both good. However, for going home, I definitely prefer taking the bus over being picked up. Um, the reason is this Ralston staff member tells you when the bus is here and guides you there. However, if my parents pick me up, I have to keep on searching for them, and there are a lot of cars. The traffic dismissal time is also like the traffic around dismissal time is also brutal. I think it's even worse than the ones in the morning. So my parents also don't like picking me up after school.
Okay, that's good feedback. So any tips for the fifth graders?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend you getting a Clipper card if you are going to take the bus. The Clipper card, first of all, gives a cheaper rate, and you don't need to prepare changes. And if you're going to get it, you should get it in the summer because the San Tran station closes at 5 o'clock, and that's really hard to like go there achieve when they're at school.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Another person I know do both is Ralph. Can you share your experience? Especially, I know you live a little far from school. So how does that feel?
So I live in Redwood Shores, which is probably the farthest away from Ralston. Normally, for when you take the bus, it takes around 30 to 40 minutes to get to Ralston. And my bus normally leaves at around 7:23, so it's pretty early too. And I would also say that a lot of Redwood Shores kids takes the bus, so it's really a good experience and you get to hang out with all your friends. So it's really nice.
Great. Do you feel like it's very loud on the bus or is that fun on the bus? How is that experience?
In
Can
the
you share a little bit more?
mornings, I've noticed it's a lot quieter, but when you're coming back home, it's much, much louder. Probably because more kids probably take the bus coming home than they do going to
Got
school.
it. Thank you for sharing. And there are kids not taking bus or got dropped off, like Alan. So Alan, do you want to share your experience?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So, I'm really lucky and I live pretty close to Ralston, so I'm in like walking distance. So usually I don't walk with my friends, but like if I see them, then of course I would want to walk with them. walking to school makes me feel like really independent, and I get like it's a pretty good exercise walking to school, you know. Um, when I walk on Ralston, the cars go pretty fast, so that can be kind of scary, and it also gets pretty windy from the cars as well. So if I were to give some tips, I would just recommend like looking out for the cars and like don't get hit by a car because getting hit by a car is not good. And like of course don't jaywalk and all that stuff. When I sometimes I'm lucky and I don't need to take Ralston, but if you live on like Yosemite or Tahoe, the residential areas can get super busy because parents don't want to drop their kids off in the regular school drop-off line because that can take a really long time.
Thank you for sharing. Those are really good tips. Next thing we want to discuss or share more experiences on the navigating classrooms. That's something probably new for a lot of elementary school students. How does that feel, Max, when you first start middle school? Is that hard to remember where you need to go?
So in the beginning, it was kind of hard to like remember which class to go to, but then I realized like instead of like memorizing the entire schedule for the week, I just memorized which class went with which period and which periods were on which day. And also, I think it's really fun to switch classrooms because it mixes up the experience from elementary school, but that's only if you like really know where you're going and like if you're like kind of confused with directions, I'd recommend getting like a map of the school for the first couple of weeks.
Okay, how about you, Connor? Do you have similar experience?
So I have six classes every day, but one of them is a double class, so I usually just stay in the area. We have 4 minutes between each classes, and it's kind of scary if the Ralston campus is so big and you have to cross from one side to the other. But 4 minutes is actually plenty of time. I don't ever need to run. So yeah, it's actually not that hard to. As long
Okay,
as you know where you're going, it's not that hard to switch classes.
do you also have the map at the beginning of the school year?
Yeah, we get a map, and I memorized all my classes after like a week or so it's not that necessary, but I did keep it in just in case.
Okay, great to know. Not that bad. So middle school is much bigger, and I want to hear like, is that easy to make new friends? And Echo, do you want to share your experience? How does that feel?
Making friends at Ralston Middle School is pretty easy, I guess, because at like the beginning of the year, your homeroom teachers do like a lot of team building activities, and you can join like clubs because they have a lot of clubs like chess club or art club. So you can just join those clubs and make new friends there.
Cool. And moving to Leia, I think you mentioned the web program. So do you want to introduce the program and see how that helps you making friends?
Sure. The web program is a wonderful program offered at Ralston School where every student is assigned to a group with a student government member as the leader, and you basically just do activities with each other. Like at the beginning of the year, we played games to get to know each other, and it's a good way to make friends because you're in a group and you get to know each other just by spending time during the activities.
Do you guys actually meet each other frequently? Like, is there a schedule, or just like once you know each other, you start to hang out?
It depends. Like, me personally, I didn't make friends out of my web group, but I've seen other people who have made friends from the web groups, so I think it's a really good way to socialize with other people at Ralston.
I see. It's a tool for you to know more people, and you do whatever works for you. Okay, great to know. And one thing as a parent, I really like Ralston is I feel like Ralston offers a lot to the students, a lot of activities, the clubs and the sports. So Andrea, I do want to hear from you from students' perspective. What do you like about schools activities, and what do you offer, or what does Ralston offer, and what are the popular activities?
So at Ralston, there are many different clubs and sports that you can choose from. Some of the clubs that Ralston has is like the Makers Club, the Gardening Club, and the Chess Club. They're all like very unique, and you can like choose like which one you want to do, and they're really fun to do. And also, Ralston has a lot of sports that you can choose from. For me, I did basketball for my sport. It's not required to do a sport, but I did basketball, and the sign up and tryouts are really easy. You just go on the Ralston website and just like answer and like select which one you want to do and like show up for the tryouts. The really popular the really popular sports are like basketball, soccer, and volleyball. So for those, if you want to do it, you should probably sign up early and go up to practices and try your best for them.
Which one do you do?
For me, I did basketball and I made sixth grade basketball A teams. So I thought it was really fun and it's a really good way to make friends and like do sports.
And do you play basketball before you joined the team?
For me, I've played basketball like maybe a few times throughout like fourth and fifth grade, but not really. I haven't done any like clubs or stuff. I just do it for fun.
Okay, great to know. So I think the other one really popular is cross country. So I want to ask Connor whether you did cross country before, and I know you're part of you participate in the cross country this year, but did you have any experience in the past?
So that was my first time doing cross country. We run a lot in Ralston, so 4 times a week in PE we run, and I realized that I really enjoyed it, so I joined cross country, and I actually think it was really fun. We meet up once a week on Mondays, it was, I think, and I am really bad at approximating, but I would say like 50 to 60 people are in the group, so it's a pretty big group, but it's like a group sport, so it's not that bad.
How long do you need to run every time when you meet?
So I joined late. Before I joined, my friend said they played a lot of games like tag and stuff. But when I got there, we trekked like downhill, like out of the campus and stuff. I can't really say how long we run, but it's not that bad. We ran like I'm gonna say like 2 miles once, and that was downhill. Uphill, that's probably the hardest thing we did. So
And the most important question, did you have fun?
yeah, I definitely did have fun. It was great to join the club.
Great. So let's move to the track and field. Ralph, I know you do that, and can you share your experience?
Track and field has been really fun, and this is the first time that I've done it, so it's been like a great new experience for me. You don't have to try out for the team. It's a non-cut sport, meaning you just sign up and you go there. I found it a great way to learn new skills and like hang out with other people. And you normally have 4 practice meets. That's what I had, and then you have a sectionals before a finals, but it's like just a fun thing to do.
Right. And do you have friends practicing together?
Yes, I think I know Max also does track and field, and I have some other friends there too.
And how big is the team or the practice group?
Well, it's 200 kids this year on the team. It's one of the largest teams.
Wow, really. Next one, let's move to tennis. Jaden, I know you do tennis. Is there a tryout required for tennis?
Yep, there are tryouts required for tennis. This year it happened during spring break. However, like if you weren't there, you could have like made a makeup tryout.
So, do you normally do singles or doubles?
So I play doubles because I'm not the best at tennis. Although you can do an additional tryout if you're good at tennis for singles. Um, and yeah.
And where do you practice?
So first of all, we play matches twice a week and practice twice a week. Oh, we play at Belmont for practice and there for home matches too. There are times where we will need to travel. I believe all the travel matches are within schools in like the San Mateo County-ish area. Um, yeah.
So you said like you practice and have the home matches at Carmount. How do you go there from Ralston?
Yeah, I take the 60 bus to Carmont since it drops me off literally like in front of Carmont drop off and pick up area, and I have to walk like a minute or so to just get into the tennis courts area.
Okay, that's great. So you can just go there by yourself after school.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we covered a lot of sports. Let's move to some other activities. I know Max, you are doing math count. Can you share your experience with math count?
Yeah, sure. So Math Counts is a math competition that's held annually across all of the United States, and Ralston has one team. Any interested participants will usually show up to the library after school, so like sometime during October or like autumn, and that's after there's like an information session with the Ralston coach. Sessions are usually like 3:15 to 4:40-ish, and there are usually a lot of participants in the beginning, so the coach will give a test to see who actually is eligible for the team. And I think it's a challenging experience for math lovers, and everyone will still gain knowledge even if you don't make the team.
And if you don't make the team, can you still learn or like continue with them, or they just cut it?
I think that you just get cut if you don't make the team, but before you get cut, you'll still learn a little bit of knowledge that might help you for next year if you want to try out again.
I see. And you said like there's a team to compete. How is Ralston math club or math team doing in the competition?
So they passed the chapter competition, which is like the county competition. They got first place,
Wow,
but they stopped at the states and got 17th,
that's still pretty good.
from what I know.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing. So next, robotics is another pretty popular one. So I want to hear from Alan. Can you share your experience?
Oh yeah, sure. So robotics, this was my first year doing robotics as a sixth grader, and it was a lot of fun. So first, I just want to explain what robotics is. So there's this organization called VexIQ, which gives a new challenge or task that our robot needs to do in the VexIQ tournament slash competition. So like in other words, we're not going to be creating a robot to like do the dishes or like serve you Coke or something like that. Our robots need to be doing the competition which Vex IQ puts out. For instance, like this year's competition was called Rapid Relay, where you need to get like a ball into like a basketball hoop, but like the basketball hoops are like short. So you form teams of 4 to 6 players and with a parent or like volunteer coach. So if you aren't able to form a team, that's fine. The robotics leaders, Joe Tan and Miss Nighty, will place you on a team. So what's really great about Ralston is like, let's say that you don't have like the Vex IQ parts and you don't have a starter kit or any of that stuff. Ralston has loaner kits which they can offer to you. So like my team, this was our first year. We had no idea like what even Vex IQ was. So Ralston was really nice and caring, and they allowed us to borrow one of their starter kits, which allowed us to get started at robotics without like having to invest a lot of money. Most of the teams meet at Ralston or the coach's house.
Got it. And if you meet at Ralston, where do you meet?
You usually meet in the MUR, which stands for the multi-use room, which is like the old gym.
So can you just meet right after school?
Yeah, you can meet after school, usually on like my team met on Wednesdays, but I think there's another day as well.
Got it. Thank you.
Usually
And
for like 2 to 3 hours.
okay, got it. Thank you. And for the tournaments, did you go to any tournaments? How was that?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So we went to my team competed in the Sandpiper tournament, and we won the judges award, which is like it's basically a reward. If you like, since we were a starting team, we were actually able to create a robot that was like top 10 out of like 20 teams, and this was our first competition. So we got like the judges reward as like a nice job. This is your first time, and you did really well. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Great. Thank you for sharing your experience. That sounds really fun.
Yeah, and Vex IQ is like a really big thing. Like they have like world champions in like Florida, and it's like a big thing.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So next, we want to talk about some electives. There are a lot of electives with Ralston. So Stella, can you share your experience? I know you do something called wheel. Can you explain what is wheel and how does that work?
So the wheel is basically it's fifth and sixth period. Depending on your schedule, you'll get one of those two periods. And there's 4 classes and they change every semester. So you do it for like you do each class for a few months. For example, I started off with Mr. Pomeroy's animation, then I went on to Miss Marty's coding, and then I did strategy with Mr. Ferrario, and I'm doing French with Mr. Ganot. So it's really fun because like if you don't know exactly what your interests are, because there's a lot of choices you can pick from the form. So if you don't know exactly what you want to pick and you don't know what your interests are, you want to find those out. I think the wheel is a really good choice.
Sounds really fun. You can try a lot of different things. So Laya, I think you are doing orchestra. So can you share your experience? Just want to see how does that work.
I really enjoy orchestra at Ralston. It's fun and I'm never bored. It's actually my favorite class at Ralston. So it's really I think comparing the elementary school to the orchestra to the middle school orchestra is more organized because you meet almost every day in that class, but at my elementary school we met only once a week, so you're more engaged in the class and the concerts are generally more organized too.
The concert, how how many concerts do you have?
It depends on which orchestra you're in. For the 6th grade orchestra, you only have 2 concerts. You have the winter concert and the spring concert, but advanced and chamber orchestra do more concerts throughout the year.
Okay, thank you for sharing. And Lottie, what electives do you do?
I do choir, also known as chorus, and I do this elective because I get to sing songs that like sometimes I know them, but sometimes they're like traditional songs or more like genres that I get to be introduced to. We also get to do more things than just singing. Like today we did musical math, which is where we took notes and we added them together. We also get to learn like the history of musical theater or the history of other kind of like songs and stuff. There's also usually if you're doing 6th grade chorus, there's like around 3 concerts a year, or not concerts, but like singing activities a year. And the teacher who teaches this does a thing where there's like a random question Wednesday where we get to know like more about each other.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Those are the electives. Hopefully that helps you to know a little bit of Ralston's electives. And moving to the next topic is something actually I didn't know before and I heard from my kids. So it's called like town hall representative. So Stella, I know you are one of the representatives. Can you introduce this program and tell us what do you do, who do you meet with, and what's your responsibility?
So basically, you meet up every first Wednesday of the month. So tomorrow I'm gonna go to a town hall meeting. It's basically where the 7th and 8th graders tell you what's where 8th graders tell you what's gonna come up next in the next in through the month. So basically they'll tell you new events that are coming up, and you tell that to your homeroom. If you want to be a town hall representative, you have to ask your homeroom teacher if you want to be it, and they'll probably give it to you. The only chance that they won't give it to you is if you already have one. So if your class already has a town hall representative, you'll have to talk to them first. But if they don't have one, you can be a town hall representative. And I think it's really fun because it's a chance to it's really fun because you get to tell your class what's coming up next, and you can figure out what's the best thing to tell your class, and you get donuts in the end, so it's pretty good.
Quiz is always great. Alan, how about you? How do you feel about the town hall representative experience?
Yeah, being a town hall representative is a lot of fun. It feels good to represent your class, and it also feels good because you feel important, like you're telling your class about the upcoming and important events. So, if you want to become a town hall representative, all homeroom classes do it differently. For example, my homeroom class, did it where you needed to write a speech and then you would get elected. However, I know that some other classes did it randomly, and or some other classes just had it where everyone could be a town hall representative, and then they just rotated off.
Okay.
And the town hall rep is from 7:45 to 8:10 in the morning.
Okay, I was gonna ask you how much time you need to spend on that. So you answer my question. If there's one tip you give it to someone is thinking about to be a town hall representative, what's the tip you want to give?
Oh yeah, I would recommend not thinking of being a town hall representative as your own self benefit, but as your class's benefit. So don't think oh, just because I'm going to be in town hall is going to give me a leg up to be in student gov for 7th and 8th grade. Switch your mindset on that. Just think I want to be supporting my classroom. I want to be representing my classroom and telling them about that. Don't think oh yeah, this is going to give me a leg up and I don't know, 7th or 8th grade student gov, because if you think like that, then you shouldn't even be in town hall in the first place.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So we have covered all the topics we prepared, and next we will have students to give some tips for the incoming students. In the meantime, if you feel like your questions have not been addressed, feel free to put those into the Q&A session, and we'll start to look into the questions and try to address them. So the tips, I want to maybe start with Echo, because I remember when we prepared, you mentioned creating good routines helped you transition to the middle school. Can you share a little bit about what routines you formed and how that helps you?
I think creating good routines definitely helps your transition from elementary school and middle school easier. A good routine that I have is having a certain time to do your homework, like having a certain time to do it for 20 minutes or something. But they also have a homework club after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays from I think 3:30 to 4:30 or somewhere around that time. You can also yeah.
Okay. So next one, Andrea, I know you had a pretty good, pretty smooth experience when you transitioned from elementary school to middle school. So what's your tips? What makes everything look so easy for you?
So for me, I feel like having a good, strong relationship with your friends before coming to Ralston is really important. It really helped me when I was going to Ralston, but at the same time, I feel like what really helped me is making new friends in all my classes. I feel like Ralston is a really good way to create new friends and make more social connections. So I feel like having more friends really helped me throughout my transition to Ralston. So I think that's something that a lot of people should be looking forward to.
Great. Thank you for sharing. Lottie, I believe you mentioned there are a lot of things you wish you had known during when you prepared for this panel. So can you share some of them? It seems like there's some connection issue with Lottie. She is.
Sorry, the computer signed out.
No worries.
So some tips I have is that during the morning, if you're gonna take the bus back to school or back from school to home, then you need to sign up on the form that they send you at the beginning of the school year, at like 8:15 to 8:20. Another tip is that in PE, you can only run in shoes that are meant like running, unlike Crocs and Uggs and that kind of shoes. um, Another tip is that I wish I had a bigger backpack at the beginning of the year because I ended up getting 2 new backpacks because my backpacks were too small and they were breaking because of this stuff. And there's like a ton of textbooks and folders that you have to fit in your backpack. Also, your lunchbox.
How big is your bag? Like how many books do you need to carry every day?
Well, I have to carry like 2 books for my lit and comp because I have to do like reading books. I have to carry a big like binder for all my classes where I split with my classes. I have a folder for chorus, and I usually have like a big lunchbox, and we carry around our computer every day to school.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of things. And when you say like for the bus sign up, so like do you need to do that in advance or it's just like every day you just sign up for the afternoon? Do you need to sign up for the whole week?
The bus form you have to if you're taking the bus like on Monday, then you sign up for on Monday. If you're taking the bus on Tuesday, then you have to sign up again in the morning. But if you're not, but you have to do it every single day that you're taking the bus. It can't be just like one form for each week.
Got it. Thank you. So that's all the prepared questions. So let's see what are the questions we have in the Q&A. Let's see. And Miss Adler, is there anything you want to highlight?
I think the students have been answering the Q&A. I just wanted to clarify with the bus, the purpose of signing up in the morning, think of it like Southwest Airlines. So you sign up and you get a number so that in the courtyard where you're lined up, it keeps things safe. It keeps from having to run to the courtyard to get in line. So it's nice and orderly. There's numbers that we spray painted on the ground, little ranges of 5, again, like Southwest Airlines. If you don't fill out the form, it's not the end of the world. It just means you're going to go to the back of the line. But if you want to be in the front, and you want to, a lot of the kids like to sit in the back of the bus, so they want to get their early number, but you still can get on the bus if you don't fill it out. It's not a big deal, but it really has helped with safety and organization.
I'd like to clarify some questions regarding homework. Our students do have homework, and I know that some of the students are answering with different times. It really depends on what's going on that week as well. Do you guys agree with that? If they have projects that are due, if they have a test that's coming up, you know, you may have more homework than a different week, but it really depends on what's going on with our students. You can expect math homework pretty much every night, maybe other than a weekend. And you can probably expect some ELA homework as well. I know that a lot of our teachers ask our students or require our students to read just about every night as well. For science and social studies, I know that some teachers do give nightly homework, other ones do not. It just depends on the teacher in those areas. And then for your electives, it depends as you get older. If you're doing in 7th and 8th grade, if you are choosing to go into a language, you could potentially have homework. But in 6th grade, when you're in the wheel, you probably will not have homework. But if you are in band or if you are in orchestra, the expectation is you're going to practice at home, and we consider that homework as well. So it really depends on the week, what's going on in your week, what teacher you have, so on and so forth. But it really should not exceed more than an hour and 15, would you say, Mrs. Adler, per night?
Yeah, I think about an hour-ish,
Yeah.
and it kind of varies. There are different teachers, so kind of depends on the
Yeah.
combination of teachers you have. And it depends on the year too. So for example, I think my student had more homework in 6th grade than 7th grade. So it really balances, and then I know it's going to go up again in 8th grade. It kind of depends on which classes you have and teacher priorities. So for example, I know in some of the accelerated math classes, the teachers know that a lot of the students do a lot of activities outside of school. A lot of them do math outside of school. So they're a little bit more mindful about not assigning a ton of homework. A lot of times they'll let you start it in class for a few minutes and then finish it up at home. So, but yeah, it'll depend on your combination of teachers.
So it seems like the students are very passionate about this question. I see a lot of hands raised. So let's start with maybe Max. What do you want to share?
So, it depends on which science teacher you have, but lots of science teachers will probably give you homework as well, like every day of the week. So just wanted to clarify.
Okay. And Jaden, what do you want to share?
So what I want to share was like the homework. There isn't actually that much homework if you like keep up with your work, because like a lot of like teachers will give you extra time. However, if you like manage your time wisely, and if you like take your time, you can easily go probably like a whole week without like more than like 30 minutes of homework usually.
Okay. Alan, you want to share something?
Oh yeah, I just want to say something real quick that teachers, when they post stuff on Google Classroom, it gets kind of wonky. For example, some of the science teachers, they post it like in a classwork section in like a resource page, but then like my literature and composition teacher like posts it in like the stream. So, and also sometimes they have stuff due even when you don't meet with them. So you just need to be careful that you're checking Google Classroom all the time.
So can I say like you need to know how each teacher
Yeah.
do assign their homework. They may
Yeah.
be a little bit different. It's not same as elementary school. Everything is all in the one place.
Yeah. Like you can't just check like the to-do section. You need to check all the sections because they might post something in a different format.
Got it. That's good tips. And Stella, is there something you want to share?
So about the homework, I have Mr. Banker, so he only gives his class homework. He only gives his class one homework sheet per week. But my friend Hugo said that Miss Walter gives her like daily homework. So they have to finish it all in one day. So and for me, usually all the homework I have is my science homework and my math homework and my literature and comp homework, which is just like reading. But like all the other classes, like social studies, they don't really. My teacher doesn't really give me any homework because it's kind of a class that you have to be there and learn about it. But there are some other teachers that will give you some homework to do, like a TCI or something.
So like I think that's similar to what Alan says. Different teachers have different styles. Some may give you homework all at one time. Some may spread out throughout the week. So Rob, you want to add something?
Yes, so for the homework, normally it just like sometimes homework will take form in like unfinished works. If you didn't finish any work in the class, you'll have to do it for homework. So if you keep up with all your work that you're doing in the class, generally for some subjects you won't have homework.
Okay. So in the Q&A, I see one question is, what is TCI? Can someone explain what is TCI?
Sure. TCI is basically what the social studies teachers use to put their homework assignments on. So TCI is like it's like a textbook where there's like ancient history about China, Mesopotamia, all the different stuff. So that's usually what the social studies teachers use.
Thank you. And Jaden, you have your hands on. Do you want to add something?
Yeah, I also want to add like they also put like assignments and like those are usually part of your grade, so not just like for the reading part.
Thank you. Okay, we talk a lot about the homework assignments. Let's see in the chat if there anything else we want to cover. Haven't got a chance to do that. So what time is the band? I think those are all covered. Do you got to keep the Chromebook? So Miss Adler, can you answer this one? Do you keep the Chromebook Ralston provides?
Yeah, all students will get a Chromebook the first week of school. That is your Chromebook for 3 years. You'll turn it in before the summer each year, but you want to take care of that. You are expected to leave your charger at home, but charge every night. And you bring that Chromebook to school and you take it home. In a lot of the classes, you'll be using your Chromebook throughout the day. Again, it's going to vary depending on subject, but you want to take care of it. If there is some kind of accidental break or damage, there is a form in my Sunday newsletter, the Ralston Reporter, where you fill it out and they then email you within 24 to 48 hours a code. And you go into the library and there's a locker system in there and you put your code into the assigned locker, they tell you, and you swap for a new Chromebook. So you'll see that when you come on the tour during lab orientation and of course throughout the year. I saw a lot of questions about what time of the day certain classes were. Just a reminder for those that attended or those that didn't last week, kids have classes at different times. So some of you have science first period, some of you have PE first period, some of you have math. It's going to vary. So for example, what time is band? It's going to depend on what level of band you're in and where we put it in the schedule. So the schedule varies sometimes each year, so it's not always the same period, but a lot of different combinations of classes.
Thank you. And Miss Adler, I think you just mentioned the reporter. Can you just talk a little bit more about reporter? Because I read that every week. I feel that really helpful. So I think it's good to share.
Every Sunday, I send out the Ralston Reporter. It is a digital newsletter. I send the link through Parent Square, and I use an outside app. And you'll find key information about upcoming events. I am in the classrooms taking pictures a lot during the week so that families can see a little bit about what's going on at Ralston. So I try to include those in there. At the bottom of the newsletter, I start the month with the whole calendar of events that we know, and then I take away each week so it kind of diminishes throughout the month, and then we get the next one. The lunch menus, breakfast menus are in there. I have a section that's news from the community. So as we get flyers and information about other events that are happening in Belmont or neighboring communities, that goes in there. So I'm sure the parents will tell you it's pretty detailed a lot of the times. So it's a good resource. I really try to anticipate questions and needs in there. I like to share data at times. And then I host a principal's coffee once a month, either online or in person. And so I include those slides or it's a recording if we meet online. But I invite parents to come. Typically it's at 8:45 on a Thursday morning once a month. And one of my favorite things about that, which is pretty unique, is we go into classrooms. So we just pop in, we get to see what all the kids are up to. We get to meet the teachers, ask questions. Sometimes we get to participate in what they're working on. So I encourage families to join us next year and come join us on a principal's coffee.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. We have about 9 more minutes. Before we wrap up, I just want to check with Ms. Jorgensen and Mr. Wilson. Is there anything else you guys want to share with the group?
No, we really look forward to you guys coming up to Ralston. This is only, an hour's worth of information. And thank you so much to our 6th graders for giving their opinions and all of their thoughts about their first year of Ralston. Hopefully it was a positive experience for them. Hearing them, I think they had a pretty good time here this year. You're going to have a lot of questions coming into next year, and that's okay. We're here to help you. We're here to guide you. Feel free to come up to an adult and ask us questions anytime you're on campus. We're here to help. And just enjoy your time at Ralston and take advantage, like all of these students said, take advantage of all of the wonderful things that Ralston has to offer.
Yeah, and I would just add, if you felt like this was really helpful, I really encourage you to seek out your web leaders next year. Those are students from leadership that can really help you out and guide you around campus and answer any questions that you may have if you'd like to hear from the student perspective.
One of
Thank
the
you.
things I saw a question about that made me think about something else you might be interested in, fifth graders, is lunch looks a little bit different. I'm assuming at most of your schools you have to sit at an assigned bench and eat your lunch and wait to be dismissed or clean up your area. It's very different at lunch at Ralston. You are able to go in any of our designated areas, which is most of the campus in the back, and sit and eat lunch. Nobody excuses you to get up. Students can move around even during the first couple of minutes. If you don't want to be with the 7th and 8th graders, we do use the U building courtyard area as our designated 6th grade area for the year. So a lot of our 6th graders will start in there, but as they get braver or more excited to see what else is going on at lunch, they will venture out there. The library's open. We have basketball courts, we have ball carts, and our yard duties from Footsteps help check out volleyballs and basketballs and soccer balls and footballs. So the field is open after the first 10 minutes. We encourage people to take at least 5 to 10 minutes to eat lunch, but we're not going to monitor that. You'll see students sitting all over the place, not just at benches, but on the ground, walking around. So it's going to look really different. There will be 1,100 students out at lunch at the same time, but it gives you a lot of freedom.
Thank you for sharing that part. And actually, I have a question. Like I remember last year, there's some activity started before school starts. Are we expecting the same schedule? Because I know some family they travel during summer break. Is there anything you can share now?
The dates for in the welcome letter that I sent out the Thursday before school starts is our web orientation day. So registration check-in happens from 8:30 to 9. And then from 9 to 12, we do activities. At 12, we feed everybody pizza and everyone goes home at 12:30 or picks up their PE clothes if they've already pre-ordered them or want to order them and pick them up for the next hour. And then the other fun event is the Monday before school. We have our 6th grade family barbecue. So it's free. It's a great time to come meet other families, see friends you haven't seen all summer. A lot of the students like to practice their class schedule and show their families where everything is. So it's a super fun event. It's very well attended. Usually about 800-900 people at the barbecue. And then we do the same thing the next night for the 7th and 8th grade families. So that's always the Monday and Tuesday before school starts. So hopefully you've got those on your calendars. And then this year school starts on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday. So a little bit of extra time. If you are not able to attend the orientation or the barbecues, which is when we'll be handing out the schedules, you can get it on the first day of school. We'll be out in front of the school early so that you can come pick up your schedule.
Okay, so I see 2 open questions in the chat or Q&A. One is about summer help with academic, and the other one is PE uniform. So I think
PE uniform, if you do not want to purchase the PE uniform from Ralston, you can wear plain black shorts or plain black sweatpants with a plain black shirt. So no logos, nothing. And they have to be a certain length, and I wish I had that length on the top of my head. I can't think of it at the moment, but we can get that out to you. It will come out. But if you don't want to purchase the PE uniform, that is another option that you can have.
Thank you, Ms. Jorgensen. And I feel like the Ralston website has a lot of information. If you're not sure, and maybe you can always, like the parents can always go to the website and see whether the answer is already posted there. And question to the staff members, if there's no answer posted online, who should we reach out to?
Any of us, you can reach out to any of the administrators, email us, you can call our office as well. So we're happy to help and answer your questions. And I know there will be more. And we are in the process of setting up visits to all of the elementary schools so that the students can ask more questions. And I think our first visit is actually this Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, to Fox. So we'll be coming around to the different schools throughout the month to answer more questions for you guys.
And one question is what you, oh, okay, I think the question got answered by the students really fast. There are 4 or 5 open right now, but most of them has been addressed. So we have 2 more minutes. We will leave the chat open, but I think we will conclude the meeting pretty soon. And if there are any questions has not been addressed, as Ms. Adler said, just reach out to the staff members and they will direct you to the right person to answer the question. And this session is recorded and a link will be shared later after this session. So if you need to watch a replay, that the link will be provided. With that, I think we are on time and we will conclude the meeting. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you all the students and staff members to spend the night with us and sharing your experience. Thank you.